Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. Let me venture out into the street briefly. Not for long though. Once the cars start coming. Better make way for the cars when you're on the 16S. It's too small and weak to be in the streets. I mean, it goes on paper, it says 21 miles per hour, but I'm gonna go ahead and clear that up. It's about 18, probably 18 miles per hour. 18, maybe 19. It does have a cool tilt back feature though, and a talking voice. So if you hit 20, it will tell you, please slow down. Those of you who have a King song know what I'm talking about. Please slow down. And it also tilts back, and you can feel it. I wish the Sherman had that. You can feel the tilt back. It's like, whoa. It's like a horse trying to buck you off. Leaning back to get you off of it. That's what it feels like. Anyway. Still gets you around, and I've ridden scooters that only go 18 miles an hour, and I've seen people on the streets with those, like racing the cars. You know, they're like thinking probably 18, the speed limit is 20 or whatever, 25. I'm right there with them, and it's like no, I mean, 18 is really not enough to be with the cars. I guess if it's clear out, or if you're just really unfazed by cars zipping by you. I've seen too much. I know that car drivers, sometimes they're aggressive, they're in a hurry, they're late, and they may not see you in time. By the time they floor it, and they do 35, 40 in the streets, because believe it or not, you can break the speed limit. And cars do. A lot of times, even without being in a hurry, cars will just go about 30. Thank you. Cars will, thank you, buddy. Cars will break the speed limit. Sometimes not even in an aggressive way. They'll just hit 30, 35. If you drive a car, you'll know what I mean. I mean, we hit 30, 35, even though the speed limit in the streets is 25. Thank you. So, you know, so, you know, you don't want to be on a wheel or a scooter that only goes 18 miles per hour and be riding around with the cars. If you're going 18, if 18 is your max, in my case right now, I'm going about 10, maybe even 12. He's probably doing 26 right there, 27. He'll probably hit 30, even 40, if he's really one of those guys. Thank you. Point being, yeah, so if I'm doing 10, 11 miles per hour, and my max is 20 on a good day on this wheel, if I'm healthy, that's not car speeds. That's not ride in the street with the cars level of speed. That's stay in the bike lane. 15 miles an hour is a healthy bike lane speed, really. Because anyone who's on a regular bike is going like 12, maybe 13. And if they're really aggressive, 15. An electric bike is gonna easily break that 20 mile per hour barrier, but they're usually careful enough where even if you're going a good amount slower than 20, they'll just go around you and it'll be fine. It's not like they're gonna kill you if they hit you. 20 is like enough for them to get around you, but not so fast that like they should be in the street or a motorcycle or whatever. So I say once you're safe out of the bike lane, probably if your scooter or if your wheel can go, if you can go 26, honestly, if you're pushing 26 and that's your limit, then no. But if you can go 26 comfortably, so if let's say your scooter or wheel can go 30 and you're doing 26, to be comfortable. You don't want to push your wheel to the limit, and you don't want to push your scooters to the limit, because then they get wobbly and you start to lose control if you hit anything, or if there's something on the floor unexpected, a crack in the floor. You don't want to be going your max speed on a scooter or a wheel, really. With the wheel, it's even more so, because the wheel not only has to worry about the pavement being even and stuff, but now you're also talking about having cutouts potentially, or losing control of the wheel because they're harder naturally to control unless you have more experience and more years of riding. You know, unless you can do 26 comfortably, I would say even get it all the way up to 30 when you need to, then you should not be in the streets with the cars. So, like for example, the S18, the Kingsong S18 wheel goes 31 miles per hour on paper, really about 29 in reality. So that wheel can go 26 comfortably, and it has suspension, and it has good acceleration. You might even have an off-road tire on there. So I would say an S18 is like barely enough for you to be in the streets with the cars. Even then, I really wouldn't recommend it, just because I feel like if you're going 26 and a bunch of cars are doing 30, maybe even 35 sometimes, you don't want to be caught in the middle of that on your wheel. You don't want to be caught in the middle of that. You want to be in the bike lane where it's safe. I mean, like, that's your like lower limit. At 26, 30, I don't say that you're 100% safe in the streets with the cars. You gotta be very nimble and maneuverable and comfortable on your wheel. If you're doing 26 with the cars, you have to be like in a good place mentally. That means you look around properly before you go by an intersection. Make sure a car is not about to cut you off and turn left in front of you. So, if you're doing all that, fine, but you're gonna be hungry for more power too while you're doing it. You're only gonna do it for a short while before you're thinking, I need a bigger wheel, I need a more powerful wheel, so I can really let these cars know what time it is. I need to be able to move around safely and avoid a car and pull away from a car if I need to, without having to worry about overpowering my wheel and cutting out and falling on my face in traffic. See, that's the other thing. The risk of falling, the consequences are so much more dire when you're in the street. So it's not like if you fall in the bike lane, it could be forgiven. In the streets, there's much less room for forgiveness. So not only is it already tough just to navigate and traverse the street, now you're talking if you mess up, you've got a lot at stake. There's a huge consequence, the potential of a car running you over. It just really ups the ante. So, that said, to all the people riding like GoTrack scooters and ES4 scooters, I see you guys barreling down the streets with the cars, going 15, going 19. It's like, all I see is inexperience. I see someone who just got their scooter. They feel invincible. They feel happy. They're going way faster than when they used to just walk around. So they're thinking, all right, I've dominated the bike lane. I'm ready for some street action. And it's like, no. You will fall off your scooter and smack against the pavement, even without any cars bothering you, just from sheer speed and instability and wobbling and damaged pavements and speed bumps and all that weird stuff going on the street. You just can't. It's not good. It's not good. Even if you get to work one time, 2 times, a bunch of times, it's just probability. It's just the odds are not in your favor. Stick to the bike lane. Put a helmet on, for crying out loud. You don't really want to be out here in the bike lane or in the streets without a helmet, because when you fall, you look like one of those you know those things they use when they do the crash tests for cars, and it looks like a real person, but it's not. But like you see their head wobbling everywhere, smacking against the glass, smacking against the floor. That's what people look like when I've seen it. Your neck can't hold up. It's like inertial movement. Like your head is so heavy, it just keeps going. So even though you've fallen already, your head still goes for another little clap against the pavement. This is why this is why helmets are so revered. You need that little extra shell for your cranium. So to anyone on a city bike out there, like look right here, bicycle, it's such a high risk being out here without a helmet. It's a high risk. And you know, you gotta remember too, the bike crowd and the scooter crowd is more inclusive. It's more people, it's women, it's children, it's everybody. Like wheels are a very specific class of people. It's usually men age groups 25 to 35. So these guys have been driving, most of them, I'm being stereotypical now, they've been driving, they've been scootering probably, they've been snowboarding, they've been doing all this outdoor stuff that made them even susceptible to want a wheel in the first place. That made them even daring enough in the first place. And then they put time into the craft of learning it. Like you can't just get on a wheel and go. It takes a while. You're invested. So the demographic is completely different of wheel riders versus scooter riders and bicycle riders, which is why you're always hearing about bicycle fatalities, scooter fatalities. But with wheel fatalities, even though it looks crazy and acrobatic and like something out of a circus, you just don't hear about fatal accidents as much. And when you do, we hear about it. I mean, we have a small community. It's a small global community. We're all on Telegram and Facebook. And when someone goes down, it's like shots heard around the world. Like, even if you've just fallen, let alone died. So I think we have a pretty good tab on like number of deaths and number of incidents. And it's really not a lot compared to the skateboard groups, the bike groups, the one-wheel groups. By one wheel, I'm talking about the one-wheel device, not the, what's it called? Not like electric unicycles. So you hear a lot more about injuries and even deaths. Bicycle lanes with bikes and pedestrians, you hear about it. But with wheels, it's a little different, man. Oof, that's a disaster. Okay, so that's my safety public service announcement for you this morning. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you all on the next rounds.